Hey folks, Kevin from Fantasy Football University, and I want to take a look at a trade that was put up on Reddit today. And I want to show you why I disagree with all the commenters who thought that the OP should definitely accept it. Let's get into it. All right, so let's actually look at the trade itself. So the poster would actually be gaining Christian McCaffrey and a 2025, let's call it a mid second, giving up Jaden Daniels and Josh Jacobs. Now, this is in a 10-team Superflex Dynasty League for context. Based on the OP's post, this is basically his team. Now, he didn't actually provide his wide receivers or his tight end. I just threw a few names in there based on what I do know. And what I do know of his team is he was the winner on the league last year. Again, 10-team Dynasty Superflex PPR. His quarterbacks right now, he had Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, and Jaden Daniels. For his running back room, it is stacked. Saquon Barkley, James Conner, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker. Now, again, I don't know his receivers. I'm going to guess it's not as stacked as the running backs and quarterbacks, purely based on what he does have in those positions, though I could be wrong. Knowing that he has incredible depth at quarterback and running back, you might be wondering why I'm suggesting he does not trade away the QB. And a lot of that comes down to my suspicion on his actual wide receiver and tight end depth, and possibly depth overall. Now, this is where context comes into play. Knowing that he's got an absolutely stacked team, he's probably already winning the vast majority of his games by a pretty comfortable margin, especially based on the fact that he is the defending champion of the league. What does CMC bring if he does bring him in? Does he maybe win an extra game here or there? Maybe, but he's probably already going to win those games. Does he win it by an extra 5 points? Yeah, quite likely. That's about it. The average of what we can expect CMC to put over top of Josh Jacobs week to week is about 5 points. Now, what happens in a situation where there's an injury, whether it's a QB, a tight end, or a wide receiver, or a running back, but less of an issue there for this particular team. But looking at all those other positions, what could actually happen? Now, let's run through some scenarios. So scenario one is actually one of the easiest ones to look at, and that's when you lose one of your quarterbacks. Whether it's Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, one of them goes down, what do? Now, if you didn't make the trade that we were talking about, then you have a couple of different options. Well, three different options, really. One, you plug in Deshaun Watson if his game has turned around by that point. Two, Jaden Daniels keeps going the way he is, so you plug in Jaden Daniels. Perfect. Three, if you're not feeling confident with either of them, then you look to package one of those QBs with one of your running backs and go get yourself a game-winning quarterback. There's going to be some available. There always is every season as different GMs fall out of the standings. Scenario two, you lost a running back. Now, let's hope it's not CMC to start with, but if it was, well, we'll have to get over that. Now, if you haven't made the trade, what does that actually mean for you? You're going to be running with three very good running backs still. You lost your fourth one. That is a shame. If you do feel like you need to shore that up, you've got Jaden Daniels still there as trade bait, and I guarantee you're going to get yourself a fantastic running back for the price of Jaden Daniels. Now, if you did make that trade, same thing. You likely still got three running backs that you're pretty darn happy with. If you do want to shore it up, you no longer have Jaden Daniels to make that trade. You no longer have Jaden Daniels to go out and get that trade bait. Now, finally, scenario three. You need depth at tight end or wide receiver, whether you lost a player or you just need to shore it up. Now, if you haven't made the trade, it's really easy. Again, Jaden Daniels is all the trade bait you're going to need. He's going to have a lot of suitors. Even if he falls off a cliff by the end of the season, there's still going to be player or GMs out there who are going to really want him. He's got the pedigree. He came out and put up 28 points in his first game. You're going to get people who are going to want him. You're going to be able to get a fantastic receiver or a fantastic tight end for him. Now, flipping the scenario, if you did make that trade, it could be the same thing. You might actually be able to get somebody fantastic for CMC. But now here's the challenge. Now you're back down to three running backs. You did shore up your wide receivers, but if you're trading away CMC, the only person who's taking CMC is one of your chief competitors. So now you just made somebody much stronger who is actually in a position to compete with you at the end of the season. So again, you really got to think about the context of this. It may actually be the right trade for the person for that original poster, but there are so many scenarios where it could go completely sideways. And if you're already going to win all your games, whether you make this trade or not, if you are likely going to go, 14-0, 12-2, whatever it is, you're going to easily make the playoffs. Save these trades for later. Save these trades for when it matters, because right now it doesn't matter. You don't know what you need, and you're just limiting your trade opportunities down the road. Jaden Daniels is going to be one of the premier trade pieces throughout this whole season, probably into next offseason and moving forward. He looks like a fantastic player already. He's going to have a lot more value to a lot more people than CMC is. And that might sound weird, but if you're in a rebuild, you're not going to be taking CMC off somebody. You'll take Jaden Daniels in a heartbeat and you'll give them incredible pieces back. You're not interested in CMC. So again, making this trade, it just limits your opportunities moving forward. It limits what you can do with your team. Losing that depth can be a huge blow to any team. And that's something that a lot of players don't understand. Again, what we often see is players who are actually saying, I won every trade I made this season and still somehow I lost when it comes to the playoffs. Yeah, because you had no depth. When things went sideways, you had nothing you could do about it. You lost a QB in the playoffs and you didn't have a good QB to put in place. Right? So again, keep these in mind. Really take a good look at any trades that you're going to make and make sure it makes sense for your team. Don't worry about what KTC says. Don't worry about what all your league mates say, what people on Reddit say. What is going to make the most sense for your team? What is going to give you the best chance to win this year and next and moving forward? We're not playing redraft. This is talking about dynasty, and this makes a huge difference. All right. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Send me some comments. Happy to hear it. New channel, so really appreciate it if you like and subscribe as well. And yeah, hope to hear from you guys soon. Cheers.